Okay, I understand that module like on a group or different component, something like, for example, let me show with a graphic. For example, suppose that this is your application in Angular, and in this application you can put some component, or you can divide this application into different modules. For example, you can add some modules in your application, something like this. Okay, for example, module 1, module 2, and module n. Okay, um, in each module you can add different elements like components, like pipes, services, etc. For example, this is the the blue box is the application, is your application. Okay, and each box is a module. This is a module 1, and this is a module 2, and so on. This is on module n. Okay, in each module you can add different elements like component. You can add some component here. Okay, or you can add maybe services. For example, you can add services, and you can add pipes and anything. Okay, so in each module you can add the same things. Okay, this is for let you to develop a big application. When your application is very big, it's important divide into module, because you can manage your application more efficient and more easily. Because if you have only one module, that module will have many components and many services and so on. The problem is when you have only one module in your application. uh, when the user open your application in a navigator, all the module is all the components are loaded into application, and maybe will very slow at the first time that the user open it. When you develop your application into modules, you can do lazy load. That means when the user open your application, only load the module that need a time. For example, when the user open your application, maybe you have a module where you have the component for the login component, and only this component will be loaded at this moment when the user open the application for the first time. And when the user or enter to your application, maybe the user type the username, the password, and click login. Then the user or your application open, for example, and the second module. Maybe in the second module you have a menu, you have some element for the presentation of your application, and when the user click and some element in the menu. For example, want to open an form or can open a page or anything. And when the user interact with the app, with the module or with the menu, uh, maybe load the another module. And maybe in this module there are some component uh, like forms. When I started with the Angular, I didn't know about module, and you can see here, for example, my first application in Angular. I didn't know about this module. Then I create my application in one module, like see, like this. My first application in Angular was something like this, and I put all the components uh, in the same module. Um, but I didn't know about the module. Then I create an app1, and then I create an app2, and then I create an app3. As you can see here, for example, this is my first application in Angular. As you can see, it's only one module. This application doesn't have any other module. Has only the default module. When you create an application in Angular for the first time, you have a default module, um, and this application he has only one module, and that module, as you can see here, is this class app module. And in this module has some section like declaration, imports, has provider, bootstrap, etc. Then I create another application that is part of the same system. So I have only one system, but this system I divide into different applications in my first time that I work with Angular. Um, I had to create three applications because I didn't know about the module in Angular. Okay, I have to do three different applications in Angular. So I could do this in only one application, but with three modules. Okay, um, so right now I create my application using this form. I only create one application, but I create different modules for the necessity to separate different functionality of the application. I don't have anything. I don't do three different applications right now. For example, these are three application difference. Okay, so this one is an application that have three different modules. As you can see here, this is a module, this is another module, and this is another module. This application is like this. Okay, I have only one application, but with three modules, and each module have the different things like components, services, pipes, etc., etc. Okay, so I will concentrate in this application because this is application uh, separate application, but with only one module. Yes. For example, these three applications are because I was I needed, for example, have an application for an administrator user and another application for the scissor user and another application for facilitator. Okay, these are three different types of user. I have an admin user that have access to some operation of the system. This is another user that have access to another type of operator, and this is another user that have another type of access. So when you do not know about the module, you have to use or you have to do this application different. This is an application for admin, this is an application for the CISO, and this is another application for facilitator user. These are three applications different, but you can do only one application separately with module. You don't need to make different application for each user. You can build an only one application, but maybe this module is for the user admin. Maybe this module will be for the user the CISO, and this module maybe for the user facility. Okay, and so
So, Anderson, can you visualize this project
um,
where is you show a bar graph, line graph, this project? If this project is not your complete project, so you can please introduce with us.
you want to I show the project this project.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Well,
how can you load components? Can you show with routing? Like we are also showed with
this was my first application that I divide into module. As you can see, I have three modules. By convention, I add prefix MDL to indicate that this is a module. For me, this is a module. Module common,
Yeah.
module dashboard, module menu. This is, for example, a common module because my principal module are these two, but this module uses something that is common to this module. So I have a common module. In this common module, I have something that are common to these two modules. Well, the first we have on always we have the principal module that is default, the APP module. This is the module that Angular make when you create the application. So this is the in the principal module, as you can see, in the declaration section, I only have app component because in my principal module, I only have this component, that component default. Let me close.
Can you put your app routing?
Lazy loading.
Yeah, you can use lazy loading.
Yes. Let me check. Let me show you. So in this application, in this module, in the import section, I import my three modules. As you can see here, this is a module. This is the common module that is here, and this is the dashboard module that is here, and this is the menu module that is here. So in the routing module, as you can see here, I have an app route, my cons, and this route have two important paths. The first I call designer. This path open the children module that is As you can see here, the menu module. Each chant is load this routing. Then the second path is dashboard, and this dashboard open the dashboard module that is here. As you can see here, this module and this module have the proper routing, the self routing. Okay, each routing is only for that module. For example, this routing have the component about this module only, and this routing has the component for this module only. Then in the principal module, in the routing, I load the routing for each module. When the user open the path designer of this form, will navigate using this app routing.